All right, this video is not to be put out on the internet for you to make fun of me for how unorganized my garage is. This video is out for you all to realize how now organized my gear bag is. I'm gonna try to keep it this way. It has been an interesting 2 weeks. The amount of craziness going on in the world right now with the coronavirus, with shelter in place, the quarantines, and where it may even go from now has been very interesting to watch. This hasn't happened in my lifetime. It's been a long time. So how are you guys coping? Are you guys doing good? Are you trying to find your favorite YouTube creators to watch more of what they're putting out? Or are you watching totally, completely different other things? What are you doing to keep yourself motivated? I found some things while I was cleaning the garage today that I wanted to show you guys, some kind of vintage stuff. One, and two, again, like, because I'm trying to truly just strip everything out of the garage that I don't need and the things that I want to keep to give them a place, I put that to use as well with my gear bag, and I'm pretty proud of it. So how do you guys organize your gear? Do you organize your gear? Do you care? Do you just throw it in there when it's clean, dirty, whatever, after a race, before a race, however that goes? I think this could be an interesting subject, so hit me up in the comments about that kind of stuff. But first, check out these finds. Louisiana Trail Riders jersey, right? So growing up in Louisiana, obviously it looks a little bit like a rebel flag. It is what it is. It's very iconic. But Dad and I, Papa Pierce, we were part of the Louisiana Trail Riders there in Louisiana, middle of, what was it, Fort Polk, in that area. So this was one of the jerseys from back in the day. Look at this, is what a vintage jersey was. Pretty insane. Then go even further back, New Orleans Enduro Association jersey. Yes, this was on the north side of Lake Pontchartrain, where we actually had property that I rode at for a little bit. I believe they even put on enduros there and stuff way back in the day. So apparently this was a double X, but it looks like it shrunk quite a good bit. That's a cool logo there on the front, right? But then if you go to the back, I love it, man. Look at that arrow. That is so stinking cool. And New Orleans Enduro Association, right? Like, it's pretty bad, eh? Pretty bad, eh? So those are two finds that I found that I thought you guys would definitely find interesting. So let's dig in to the gear bag. I got the OGIO Rig 9800 finally. One of the things that officially I can say is it does not have as much room as I thought it was gonna have. And two, it also doesn't have as much organization as I thought it would have. And I'm going to show you guys kind of what I've done to try to make up for that. So this is kind of like if you were to, you know, use it to head out to go ride somewhere and try to have it as organized as possible. So when you flip it open, right, get to this spot. Whew, a lot of stuff. This compartment, you can already see, just because I have really kind of filled it up, is just Velcroed on, so that's kind of where the helmet goes. We'll take that out last. But this area, this is your biggest compartment that you're gonna have, right? So I've got my bladder in there. You can see, luckily, this guy stays pretty flat. It doesn't have a bunch of curves. Now that might change over time, so that works out. Remember, I'm gonna definitely wear the back piece. It's just the first time I was trying it, I didn't have that on. This is where the real kind of organization came in, right? Like, I needed to find ways to keep everything packaged, if you will. So I'm trying to find a lot of boxes and squishy things to make it work. And one of the ways I did that is I found my old goggle bag, and then I found these little organizational bags on Amazon. So you can use these guys, right? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to do jersey and pants, right? In some of these, do socks, undershirts, undershirts, gloves in their own kind of little bags as we go through that. Now, if you look at the goggles, if you follow on Instagram, you should know that I've gone through quite the gamut of goggles. So some X brand, some 100%, some Scott, Oakley's, if you could look there, and then these new Liats. Now, these are the ones I'm looking forward to wearing the most. I think those are going to be a cool pair. They look like they're going to work really well with the Fly Racing F2 helmet, so we'll see how that goes through. And then just your odds and ends right up in here. Extra pieces, nose pieces, if you've got a mud flap or anything like that for, you know, extra roll-off stuff for the roll-off system. So this with this guy worked out nice for the top for that organization there. kind of goggle bag do you guys use? You use goggle bags? Do you care about that? And this is the knee braces I was telling you guys about that I still use. They're not really braces per se. They're much more, you know, glorified knee cups with just a little bit of rotation assistance. But you know, it's what I've been running. I don't know. I want to go knee braces, but I'm also kind of afraid. This is something I'm going to try too. When we went to Disney World, Tamara found these. They just pop up, and it's kind of like a dirty clothes hamper. So I'm going to try this to see how that works for me when I'm there, and then I can just throw my dirty gear in there and go to town. Boots, so these are the FR5 fly racing boots that I got. Still, I've only ridden them once. Everything kind of happened with the coronavirus stuff. So that's how I've organized this, and then this is really just the helmet spot, right? Like trying to keep this as protected as possible. It's got a nice little spot for it to live in. Okay. So I propped this guy up just so it's a little bit easier to get to. It's really an interesting lid. Again, this is where a little bit of the lack of organization comes in, because it's just this huge cavern that is really hard to organize anything in. So what I did, this will be good for maybe any kind of meshy stuff that you want to keep, but it's really not that much space. So I mean, like sweaty gloves. After that, like, what are you gonna put in there, right? Like, doesn't make much sense. So what I'm gonna use this for is the things that I don't need that often, or maybe very specific things. Like, these are a lot of my winter gloves, things that I might need throughout the year, but just less every single time, so I don't have to go through them. So that can kind of flip up and over. I don't know, these are my older bags that I used to use before. I'm going to try to use that laundry hamper. But again, so this is what I did, is because this is such a big, huge cavern, you don't really have a way to organize anything that well. I put all my gloves in here. So I've got all my under gloves. So I've got some of the Moose Racing stuff that I've still used for a long time, and some of the Risk Racing guys in here. And I use this for races when I need to carry gloves with me. So this will be, you know, hopefully a good way to organize my gloves instead of having them go all over the place. And then too, like, if you want to look in here, right, this is all the other bits. So what I did is, when you look in there in the gear bag, so this one has two sets of gear. It's got the Super Summer and then the Hydrogen Light that I just bought that I really I love Fly Racing Hydrogen Light. But I've got another pair of gear just in case in here. So I'm going to have extra gear, then, you know, shorts, socks, undershirts, things like that I need, but that are kind of like the undergarments, right? So try to keep the undergarments in here so I can just kind of open this up and get to those things. So that's kind of how I'm trying to organize this gear bag. It's kind of crazy because looking in the pictures, like, you didn't really notice how hard it was going to be to organize with this bag. And so I'm kind of trying to use these pieces and parts to make it a little bit more organized. But kind of wondering, you know, what do you guys do? You know, do you guys have a system? Does it matter? Do you just throw everything in and call it a good day? One of the things that's interesting during all this cleaning as well is I asked around, what do people do with old gear? Because obviously I found a ton of old gear that I don't wear anymore and I'm never going to wear. But what Brian Story told me is that he actually holds on to his old gear, wears it for muddy races, and then throws it away afterwards. So maybe that's an idea for you guys if you're kind of looking around for ways to take advantage of old gear that you're like, you know what, this is old, it's holy, it's not gonna it needs to be quote unquote thrown away or given to somebody if they're in the need. You know, that's an idea to have. But look at this. Even as organized as I'm trying to be, this is still barely closing, right? So you just kind of gotta figure it out. Now luckily it seems like it's a super high quality bag, so hopefully that zipper makes its way through all of this. And then here I'm gonna have some of the accoutrements that you need, some monkey butt powder of course, and then just some extra little parts here and there that I've always kind of kept with me in my gear bag, so I have quick bolts in case for whatever reason I didn't bring a toolkit or a toolbox with me when I'm out riding. So guys, that is my current gear bag situation. I think it'd be awesome if everybody kind of like shared pictures. You know, what are you guys doing for your gear bag? Do you care? Do you matter? Do you care? Any of that kind of stuff. I think it'd be fun. So post pictures to Instagram of your gear bag. Tag Seat Time. Use the hashtag Pintful of Awesome. I hope everybody's staying safe during this time. It's very interesting for sure. If you have any other ideas of fun videos that I could do from here from the house, obviously we're not riding, other kind of tips and tricks, things that we've done for motorcycles over the years, let me know. I'd love to share more with you guys, hopefully get out a video, maybe once a week, maybe every other week, just because it's crazy talk. But let's have fun with this, guys. Please stay safe, don't do anything too crazy. Definitely don't get yourself hurt, so you're going to the hospital and taking up hospital beds just in case, right? And I guess quarantine as best you can. If nothing else, guys, remember, always enjoy a pint full of awesome, and we'll see you on the internet. Peace.